I was secretary to Government of Bihar in 1996. There were 60,000 schools, half of them without buildings. This is the state of affairs of the schools in the country. This must change. Of course, things are changing a lot. Then you have huge number of students and no teacher. The Act says for every 30 students, you must have one teacher. Not for the district, not for the state, but for every school. The PTR must be maintained for every school by law. You can't transfer teachers from one place to another on mass scale and concentrate them in an area and divide some other schools. So 30:1 is ratio. For every school, you must have toilets separate for boys and girls. UNICEF has done a study that just why the girl's child doesn't come to school. Many factors are there, but one is toilet. UNICEF study says that just by providing the toilet, separate toilet for girls, the attendance increases by 30%. There are studies. So you must have toilets separate. You must have water to drink. You must have a boundary wall, a barrier-free access. You must have facilities for games and sports. You must have only qualified teachers. There are teachers who are undermetric. Believe me, there are many teachers in the country who are undermetric, who are teaching the students. But it says, the Act says that you must have only qualified teachers. It's very difficult. You can't do it overnight. But this is a challenge we have to meet, we have to face. In fact, after the Act has come, many state governments which have refused to open up teacher training colleges have opened up teacher training colleges, a large number. This is what is disciplining the system. You can't have more than 10% vacancy, 10% vacancy, more than that you cannot have in a school. You must fill up the vacancies. No non-teaching work to teachers except election and census. It fixes, even goes to except fixing school days and school hours, teaching learning equipment, library, laboratory, science and maths teachers, which are very weak at present. And about the classroom process, it doesn't stop, but goes to classroom process. It must be child-friendly. It must make the child free from fear, trauma, and anxiety, and provide learning through activities. What is activity-based learning, etc., etc. Now, there are many more issues, but I will end with what others have seen or looked at the Act, both in the country and outside. The bill was placed in Parliament on 16th of December. I was leading a delegation of the country in Oslo for the UNESCO Education for All conference to take stock of what countries are doing. And India is a matter of concern. India, with all our pride, sense of pride in the country's achievement, our being a global power, world economic power, we are most backward in the field of education. We occupy, as per the UNESCO Global Monitoring Report of 2009, we are, believe me, we are at 102nd position in the world. We are harboring 30 crore illiterates in the country. 30 crore is the number of our citizens who can't read or write. And this is exactly the number of the exact population of USA. We are having as much of the population of USA in India who are illiterate. We cannot go below this. When in the Oslo conference I had chance to speak, I spoke about the right to education being in the parliament. In fact, at a time when there was a globe, the entire world was passing through economic crisis. In fact, the conference was worried that will the governments be able to spend on education and midday meal, which are go side by side, midday meal in the school, to prevent the classroom hunger. They go side by side. When the world is worried about the cut in the education budget, India introduced the education bill in the parliament with a huge investment and also on the midday meal. In fact, the conference felt that just by making education a legal right to every child, India is poised to develop from a poor country to a developed country. This itself is enough indication that India has come of age and India is arrived and going to be a developed country. And by Indian press also lauded when the bill was introduced to Parliament. I found a very beautiful editorial in Economic Times, December 12, 2008. Another caption, failure eliminated, respite for young school children. Permit to read it. Just every now and then there comes along an idea which makes us feel some form of nirvana might be attained in our benighted land. Quite a few adults, having suffered the travails of the school system in India, would be interested in the news that the right of children to free and compulsory education bill 2008 was introduced in last week in the Rajya Sabha. The implications of this bill are most profound. Indeed, this could well be the locus of the socio-political change we so badly need, unquote. These are some of the foundations of the right to education bill, and this is central to all other rights of the children and must precede all other rights of the children. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for detailing out the procedural administrative hiccups of this Right to Education Act. But we all are optimistic that all our children are going to be educated